What is up, guys? Digital VFX here once again, and today I have a tutorial on how to make a funk melody. And if you are familiar with the artists Grizz or Grammatic, you may know that they make very funky style music, electronic soul or glitch hop. Not necessarily glitch hop, but it's very funky, and the main key is swing right here. And so I'm going to get into a little bit of swing just to start off. And when I'm making funk melodies, what I'll typically do is find a nice bass, and I'm just going to use Massive. And again, there's bass plugins or patches for any plugin virtually, so you don't need to worry if you do not have Massive. Kind of like that one. And then so what I'm going to do for that swing is, my favorite setting is halfway in between here. I think it's a little too much swing if you put it all the way. So if you put swing to about halfway, and then you can paste a couple notes in the sequencer here for, it doesn't matter what pattern. But the main thing we want to do is send this to the piano roll, and we can copy Command C or Control C. We can delete those now. And now we can go to our piano roll, and we can paste those, and as you can see, now there is a swing melody, or I should say rhythm, attached to this melody. And it's a little fast. Funk's normally around 90 to 95. Could do 95. And the more I listen to that, the more I don't like that bass patch. So I'm trying to find a pretty clean bass that's like a, kind of sounds like an electric guitar bass. Let's see what I got in here. Try not to make this whole video about just finding a preset. Actually, I think I'm just going to use ANA because there's a little bit better presets. And I shouldn't make this video about the preset, but this will just be a little bit easier than trying to make one. And so the main thing to keep the swing on your melody is to kind of maintain that swing rhythm in there. So as you can see, I'm just copying and pasting the notes and keeping them in the relative locations within the grid, and that creates that swing kind of feel. And you can just play around with notes and key, and you can generally get something good. And I'm not really fond of this sound either, and so I'm just gonna deal with it until I make the melody, and then I can just easily sift through some bass patches that I know sound pretty good and see which one I like best. So I'll just finish the melody. Alright, so I think that sounds decent enough. I don't know if that's the original one that I had. No, I don't think so, but I'm just gonna keep it. And now I can just throw that in an empty mixer channel. Throw a little bit of sidechain on there, just a slight gross beat. This preset I made. Alright, so now the most, not necessarily the most important part, but an important part of this groove is the melody, or I already made that. I'm going crazy, is the rhythm, and that being drums. And generally what I'll do for a funk song is have a pretty heavy hitting kick. And I've explained this in some of my other videos, but one of the most important things when doing kicks is this option, cut itself. And what that will do is avoid the sample from overlapping. If you do something like this and the bass is overlapping, it will basically, let's see if you can hear a difference. Not in there. Yeah, it's kind of subtle, but what it does is it cuts the sample so to prevent overlapping, so it kind of cleans up the bass in kicks and some bass samples that you may be using. So that's definitely a helpful feature. And I need Alright, now I kind of want a hollow snare, one where you can, one with that kind of a feeling to it. Kind of like that one. Clean up that tail. Alright, sweet. So now I can put I guess I can just make it 8 bars for this example. As you can see with this swing feature on, it actually, improves the rhythmic value of these kicks, and it really kind of already does all of the, quantization for you in regards to putting them, in the same pattern as the melody you're making. Kind of hoping for something a little more ridey, so I guess I can throw I guess I can throw a ride in on top of that. Alright, so that's just a pretty basic beginning to a song, and so now I guess I wasn't really planning on doing this, but I can kind of just play around with, another, I don't even know what I want to use. Guess I could just use Silent and load a bank. Where are my presets? There they are. Alright, so what key are we in? Starts on a C. That's some dead mouse sounding crap. I like that. I'm gonna remember that. Why does everything have a crazy amount of delay in here? Well, that sounds like crap. I don't even want a chord. I guess I'd use a lead. You could just play with something along that. I know this sounds bad. Give me a second. I'll make it sound better. I promise. And at this point, I'm just kind of like adding some effects that I might, if I were actually to put this in a song, and just experimenting with different sounds and seeing what sounds good. And that's really what I like to encourage when people ask me how to make music, and some tips, and just experiment with different things. You never know what will come out good. think I want to try that bass in here real quick. And I'll probably wrap this video up soon. I don't know how long I'm really trying to make it, but you know, I guess I can make this how to make a funk song rather than a melody, because I originally had planned on just doing a melody and didn't anticipate actually working more on it. But you know, why not? The more the merrier. I don't want to replace that. I want to clone that. I can mute that. Copy, paste. I know why it's not working, or at least not sounding good. It's because I gotta route it. There we go. It's because I cloned it. It was automatically routed to this channel, which had a high pass filter and a little bit of a, you know, reverse bell filter on there, and so that is why. Alright, now I can just throw a low pass. So if you didn't tell, what I did there is I was originally planning on just replacing this bass, but I found this and it sounded a little weak in some areas, so I tried to see if it would work well overlapping with the original bass, and I can, whoops. And so I decided to layer it there, and I put a low pass on one of the basses and a high pass on the other. And so if you put those together without leaving one, actually, I wonder why this one's not playing. There we go. I was wondering why I was sounding off for a second, but I think that's pretty good. I guess I'm gonna add a little bit of reverb. I think that already has some on there, but I'll add a little bit of my own. Throw reverb on this track. All right, and I think that's pretty much it. It doesn't sound too bad for, 20 or so minutes of work. And the bass isn't the greatest bass line, but that's no problem at all because, it's up to you to make whatever music you want. And so that is just some tips on how to get that funky groove that you were hopefully looking for when you search for this video. And yeah, if you have any questions, concerns, comments, just throw them in the section below and I'll try my best to get back to them. And remember to smash that like button. All the support is greatly appreciated. And this has been a digital VFX production. Thanks for watching.